Alright, so this is the Koth Lakeside map review. Basic things, I guess I'll go over quick callouts. Obviously this is spawn, this is main, and then I just call the other two rollouts left and right. Some people like calling this tunnel because it's a tunnel. Now going up onto here, this is ruins, the sandy area where there are literal ruins. Then you have the bats or battlements up here. Depending on what you're looking at, it can either be left bats or right bats, but all this area is bats. Ruins and bats are important calls mostly because snipers love to stand on them. Now, let's see. Obelisk is right there where my heavy's standing, and then obviously you guys know point. And then here's ammo pack, because it's the giant ammo pack in the middle of the field. And then there's this area right here. Now this goes by a few different calls just because different people call it different things, but most commonly you'll hear it referred to as bathhouse, bath, or pool. Or pool house, I guess. But yeah, there's basically water here, a big med pack, and that's the map. It's symmetrical both sides, so there shouldn't be any confusion. If someone's coming out main or going to be main, this is typically what they're talking about, this straight line from spawn to the center, through the center. So that entire area is main, and that's important too. Okay, so that's the basics about the callouts. Now let's talk about, real quickly, the rollout, I guess. On Koth maps, rollouts actually matter, which most of you know this. For a steel team, typically what you want to do is have everyone but the demo and the medic crouch so that the medic can easily heal the demo. It helps more than you think. I know when I was starting on medic, I used to not be able to hit the demo very effectively unless everyone else was crouching. Now that I've had more experience, it really doesn't matter. I'll just jump over people's heads. But everyone start off with the courtesy to crouch for the medic to heal the demo, and then demo rolls out. He places some stickies on the ground behind him as he goes. Pretty much if he spawns here behind him here, he jumps to the door, then at the door, then he jumps to the center, then when he's at the center he places another one here and jumps over this the battlements onto mid or near mid. You might not want to go direct onto mid because if their demo is fast, he's just going to be able to spam you off of the point and you'll have a death before the rest of your team can even make it there. Now the flank rollout, that's for the demo, the medic, and the heavy. Basically, demo, medic, heavy, and pyro, I should say, are all just going to roll out through main. Demo's the only special one who jumps. Now, the flank rollout is different depending on what you're going for. If you're going for a very aggressive flank, like a soldier scout flank that's going to immediately go for their combo, then go ahead and roll both flank members around through ruins, through bath. And if you do this, oftentimes you'll meet their flank in bathhouse as they're rolling out. So you don't really want to extend past bathhouse or get near this opening if you're fighting them, mostly because, as you can see my sniper demonstrating there, there's sight lines all the way back into bath. So if you're gonna do this, get in here quickly and then move out of the way of the sight line as flank, and then if their flank is coming in through here, you'll see them come in through the door and you can spam them in this archway. And they should die more easily if they're standing in this spammable area. Once you win that flank fight, then you can get behind their team. If their flank isn't even there, chances are that you can probably just get behind their team immediately and jump onto the combo from the side. Now that's if you want your flank to be aggressive. If you want to, say, go the more traditional route where the soldier bombs in, and the scout eventually rushes in, but he's kind of passive until the mid fight's over, then you want to roll your soldier out with your combo. He's going to be whipping them all the way out to mid, and then when you get to mid and you've whipped your combo all the way here, then medic should give you a full 300 buff, and then the soldier can just jump straight over the point on top of their medic or their demo or whoever else. Things to be careful of, however, are the heavy, of course. If he's really close to the combo, it's not going to work. And if the heavy rolls out close to the combo the first time, don't try bombing the second time as a soldier because it's just not going to work. However, if the heavy's not close to the combo, then by all means bomb them because they've made a mistake. On that note, however, your heavy should definitely stay near your combo as you're rolling out and as you're fighting the mid, because again, scouts, soldiers, spies, they're all going to go for your medic right off the bat. The mid game is basically a medic and demo pick game. Whichever team kills either the other team's medic or the other team's demo first wins the mid fight about 80% of the time. Other picks are cool and they can make a difference, but really the big picks are going to be the medic and the demo. So keep that in the backs of your minds as you guys go into these scrims this weekend and as you guys go forward into your match. Mid fights are really won by denying the spam and denying the heals. Now, talking about, that was flank rollouts. Talking about spy and sniper rollouts, as you saw, the sniper has a great sideline out of ruins. If the sniper's standing back by ruins right off the bat, he can look all the way back into their ruins from back here, or he can even rotate his vision and look at the point from back here. Ruins is a great place to stand for the beginning sniper. Bats is another popular one. However, it's a lot more exposed. If you're going to be bats, then make sure that you as a sniper can counter snipe the other sniper better than he can counter snipe you, because if you can't, you're going to have a hard time. And then far left bats from back here is a good sight line. So if you're standing on this ramp, my sniper is standing there, so I can't really demonstrate, but if you're standing on this ramp, you can actually look through these boards. The sniper's a little taller, but you can look through these boards onto mid. This is a sightline that not a lot of snipers use, and it's kind of something my two sniper mains came up with. Well, they didn't come up with it. Other snipers have used it, but they really use it a lot, and it's very effective for them. So if you want to get a cheeky pick on the rollout, that's what you'll want to do, especially if their demo likes to overextend onto point. If their demo overextends onto point often, you can see them right through those boards back there. As a sniper, you get the demo pick basically for free, of course, if you can aim. Now, talking about where people are going to stand. Obviously, wait, I forgot the spy. Obviously, the spy is going to get behind and try and backstab someone. Okay, cool. Talking about where people are going to stand in general. The demo, you want to be able to control the middle area of the stairs. Basically, this area is so open and big that traps go a long way and pipes go a long way too. It's an arced point, so shooting your pipes over it just kind of works out for the demo, because the pipe will arc over the point and onto the other demo, hopefully standing on the other side, or if you're lucky, the medic. So that's one thing. Also, peeking slightly to be able to get a sight line is usually okay. As you can see here, the point is covering my head here. If I peek too far, however, I'm in the sight line of the sniper from back there, as music is demonstrating. And peeking too far is a bad idea for your demo, obviously, because he'll get headshot from back in that battlement sight line. However, if you peek just slightly, you can see pretty much over the point as a demo and still get some spam off effectively. However, spamming from back here isn't a bad idea either, especially if their demo is very aggressive. If their demo is very aggressive, however, remember what I said about the demo pick being important? Well, the heavy typically watches the left side of stairs or right side of stairs, depending on what side of the point you're standing on. And standing over here, the heavy can deny anyone from jumping over this way, and he can also deny the demo from coming up this side, which is very important. If the demo flanks around onto your team on mid-fight, you lose the mid-fight, and probably the game, because if you're allowing their demo to stand here, chances are you're not going to be setting up good defenses in the future. So keep that in mind. Have your heavy up here, and if the demo overextends, have your demo call, hey, their demo's on point, he's way forward. Just push the heavy 2 inches forward, rotate your vision, mow that demo down, and then back out. You've won the mid fight. They have no spam. Okay, let's see. Pyro is standing with the medic pretty much throughout the duration of the mid fight. Like I said, their team's going to be brutal if they're smart, and if they're stupid, they're still probably going to try and be pretty brutal. So keep the pyro on your medic, make sure no spies or soldiers or scouts jump onto him or her, and you'll be solid there. The flank, of course, once they've gotten their fair share of picks or push back the position on the opposing flank, then they can go ahead and take refuge in the bathhouse. This is a great place for flank to hold, and if they're not overextending too much past bathhouse, they're able to hold it for a really long time, considering they have the full med pack here for them. However, if say your team is pushing in with an Uber, that's a good opportunity if your flank has bathhouse to just jump out and jump onto the opposing team. So keep that in mind too. Having control of bathhouse is usually what will determine whether or not you can push back onto the point once the other team captures it. So it's not as important for the mid fight, but once you lose mid, or if you lose mid, having bathhouse is important to be able to push out of straight onto mid, or to push out of behind their combo. So keep that in mind. You definitely want to hold bathhouse. To aid that, a lot of teams lately have been running NG with the flank. This is a great idea. I personally think it works very well. Every time we've done it on our team, it's worked pretty well, and when we didn't do it, we suffered the consequences. Try it out. Usually engineer, everyone thinks of as a more supportive class. The meta on this map is to have the dispenser back here and to have a mini sentry somewhere in the middle of the field. This is great for mid fight, but once mid fight is over and you guys have captured the point, rotate your engineer into bathhouse to help the flank, because that will just guarantee you guys keep the point for even longer. Another thing to keep in mind about this, here's the mini. As you can see, this denies bombers, it denies people walking too far up onto the point, it denies people walking behind you from bathhouse. It denies a lot, and putting the mini here helps. Also, you can put it as far as up here and it'll still be an effective spot. So, but anything really past this wall, if the mini is like over here, for example, it won't watch ruins very well, so people can get behind you and onto bats super easily. So if you're an engineer, make sure you have your mini somewhere between this wall and this ramp, somewhere in the sandy area, for the mid fight, of course. And dispenser right there to help out your heavy or your demo if they need ammo during the mid, if it's a long one. And you can keep the dispenser there for a bit. But, as I was saying, once you guys secure the point, once you guys are relaxed a little bit, move your NG into bathhouse with the flank. And this will allow the flank to be a little more cheeky. So during the game, if your engineer's set up in bathhouse, then you can start suiciding in for their combo. And by that, I don't literally mean soldier, you see their entire combo up, the heavy looks straight into your eyes, and as you two are interlocked in this destined battle, you decide to jump straight into the heavy's bullets. That's retarded, and a soldier should never jump in if the heavy's looking at him. However, if the heavy's looking away or somewhere else, and if they don't have a lot of cover on their medic and their demo who just seem to be lollygagging about right behind the point, then by all means, soldier, suicide into your heart's content and bomb the shit out of that medic. If you do this often, and if you have your NG and your scout stay in bathhouse, then even if you die and their flank decides, oh, the soldier's dead, we better push into bathhouse right now, there's an opening, well, they were wrong, because they have a fucking mini sentry, a dispenser, a scout, and an engineer, all there to deny their flank from pushing onto your team. Never leave areas unattended. If one person's suiciding in, fine. If two people are suiciding in, reevaluate your situation on this map, because losing two people in one push or in one play can be the difference between losing the point or keeping the point. You don't want to make giant moves like that and lose two people or even three people at a time, unless the entire team is moving forward at a time. So if the entire team is about to push in, by all means, if you hear the call, we're using in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, on 1, you wait a second as the flank, and then everyone pushes into their team at the same time. I guarantee you will push any steel team out with that. You just need to have the mind for it, and you need to be coordinated enough for it. In order to be coordinated enough to do that, though, you need good comms. So keep the comms clear, keep them consistent, and don't talk over each other as a team. I mean, I don't know how you guys play yet. I'm sure a lot of these things are review for you guys. I have yet to really meet a steel team that's like completely new to everything, and I know a lot of what I'm talking about is the meta. But as the season goes on, hopefully I'll get to watch some of your guys' demos and see how your team plays together, and then we'll adjust the map reviews accordingly. So don't worry if this is a lot of review. Okay, so speaking of holding, Well, that is basically holding, at least the meta holds. So let's talk about the meta pushes. Let's say their team has the point and they're doing everything right. They have their flank in their NG and bathhouse. Their pyro's up the medic's ass. The heavy's watching the far right side of point. The demo's watching the center of point. Everything is picture perfect for their team and their hold. Do not fret, because any team can only really watch one area at a time. They can't really do it all. So let's say their team pushes up onto the point. You have a couple of options here. If they're pushed up onto the point, the way to push this is usually going to be pushing out of far left or far right, depending on what side of the field you spawn on. So far left is a good push because it gets you right up and close to them. They're going to be right up on that point. It gets you right up close to them and able to fight before they're really going to see you. So by the time you round this corner, you're what, like 20 feet away from their combo. This allows your combo to get some space quickly, use the obelisk as cover as they're approaching the point, and maybe even come in from the far left side to spam onto the combo. Now, oftentimes you won't be able to get all the way up here before they comm you, so their combo will start to rotate, but don't be afraid, this is a blessing in disguise. If, say, their whole combo is back here, and then they call, oh, their combo's rotating far right, well, the first person who's going to be able to get here is probably going to be the demo. So you have like 2 to 3 seconds to just wail on the fucking demo while he's standing there in front of your entire combo. This is the key to the push. Because if you have those seconds to wail on the demo, one of two things is going to happen. Either the demo's going to die, and then it's all over because it's just like the mid-fight. They lost their spam, which means they lost the point. Or their medic's going to force on the demo, which means that you guys are back here, you just spammed that demo out quite a bit, and now he's Ubered. Okay, just back off. Just back off with your team. They can't get back here in the 8 seconds their Uber will last, at least not with their entire combo. If their demo decides to jump in on his Uber, that's fucking suicide because you have your entire combo here pocketed by your medic, so you can mow him down if he decides to chase. And by the time they fade, their team is probably going to be way out of position because every fucking team overreacts to Ubers. I'll see how you guys react to Ubers, but most teams, especially in Seal, hear their medic say, we used, or we Ubered, or they used, or whatever the call might be. And as soon as that happens, you'll see it in demos if you watch your demos. As soon as that happens, the entire team that Ubered, for some reason, no matter where they're standing on the map, they all blindly go for the first person on their screen and they try to kill them. And I don't know why the fuck that happens, and it just happens every single time. So let's say they Ubered, right? If their flank is standing in bathhouse like they should be, they're going to Uber and the flank's literally just going to start walking forward and out. Keep this in mind because that opens up your flank to be able to wail on their flank, and it's predictable. It's predictable. Whenever their team Ubers, the reason why we call them is not necessarily because if you don't call them you'll die, because chances are if you're someone who's going to die to the Uber, you probably already fucking saw the Uber. So the Uber call is not for you. The Uber call is for the entire rest of the team to know, hey, at this point of the game, the other team is going to push into us. We should probably brace ourselves for that and be prepared to spam them out wherever they stand. Alright? So keep that in mind, especially on Lakeside. On Lakeside, it's so easy to retreat behind a corner and literally just deny the Uber. This brings us to what happens after you kill the demo. Well, after you kill the demo on that Uber, you basically play it like a mid fight, and then you take mid back. Now let's say their combo standing in bathhouse. This is also easily avoided. If they're standing in bathhouse, then all you have to do as a combo is push out of main. Because again, if you're in main and they're in bathhouse, they're forced to come out onto the ruins. And if they're on this plane and your demo's on this bottom plane, then it's easier for your demo to get some spam off on them. Demos are actually more effective from the bottom than on the top. While heavies are better on high ground, demos are better on low ground. So keep that in mind for demos and heavy mains. That's something that you should carry with you throughout your TF2 career if you're going to continue to play competitive. So pushing out through main kind of forces them to go out into ruins, or forces them to retreat out of bathhouse and onto point. If they retreat out of bathhouse and onto point, then your combo can easily just take ramp onto ruins and then kill them. Now, those two pushes aren't always going to work. There's always some teams that are just better at predicting scenarios. If those two pushes aren't working, you have other options. You can rotate your combo out of the far right, for example, through tunnel. If you rotate your combo out of the far right, this gives you some nice cover from the sheet of metal if their sniper's standing on point. So that's a definite plus. You can also usually find your sniper back on ruins, so it gives your medic a chance to pocket the sniper to start getting some picks if they're standing on the point. And if their sniper's not on point, your combo can just cross into bathhouse and then just push onto point from bathhouse. If you guys are doing that, however, as a combo, you have to be stupidly careful about the enemy demo, because well-placed sticks in bathhouse will literally clear the entire area, especially right here in these corners where my scout just shot. Sticky traps are always there. Just be ready for that. If you're aware of where the trap is going to be, there's no reason why you should ever fall for it. There's no reason why anyone on your team should ever die. Just, again, as I said, keep comms clear, keep comms focused, one person at a time, and only call the important shit. I don't give a shit, and I'm sure your team doesn't give a shit, if you just got a 10k by meleeing their sniper. That's not an important comm. A more important comm would probably be, hey, their sniper's down. Cool, now your team knows you guys can stand basically wherever you want because their sniper's down. But if you guys are the kind of team that gets excited, I recommend in comms to just relax, make sure your push to talk is on, and if you need to scream and if you need to celebrate, then go the fuck ahead, but don't push your push to talk. Your team just doesn't need the clutter. Now, I don't know how you guys deal with main calling. Typically, traditionally, it's the heavy or the medic, but I've seen, or not heavy, demo or the medic, but I've seen some great heavy main callers, so whatever you guys do, try and keep it somewhere in the combo, as the combo has the best eyes on the field. Let's see, what other tips can I give you about this map? Ubers. So, the Uber game. If there's like 40 seconds left and you just spawned as a medic, try a different gun. Please don't continue to run Uber because you're not going to build that shit. I personally like the quick fix because teams don't really expect it, and it's a quick Uber, and it's something that you can buff people on your team very quickly, especially for those last 40 seconds where the enemy team is just going to be pushing into you really hard. Having a quick fix heavy right here on point while the other team is trying to push into him is very hard to kill. So quick fix is a good choice. Another good choice is crits if you think you can make use of them. If you don't have a combo that's good at spam, for example a heavy that has no idea how to use laser beams, or a demo who has no idea how to spam, that's okay. You guys are in steel and there's plenty of time to improve, but please, for love of God, don't put all of your faith in that demo or that heavy to laser beams or spam your way out of a situation. A medic's Uber should be more defensive than it is offensive, and while so many medics think that it's such a good idea to run crits on every fucking Koth map, you don't need to be that team. Let them be meat-headed idiots and run crits. All that's going to happen is they're going to drop more often. I promise you this. Because if they use crits, chances are they're using crits on their demo. And what can the demo not do? The demo can't air shot pipe a soldier who's jumping on top of him and the medic. Which means that if they're using crits, just call it and then immediately have your soldier jump on top of that medic, and pretty much about 70% of the time that medic's just going to die anyway. If you're using crits as a team, again, make sure you have the player to do it. If your demo's not your strongest player, don't crits the fucking demo. Crits the heavy instead, and make sure he's in a good position to laser beams. But, you know, it's all up to your team's preference. Again, if your medic is just a god at staying alive, then maybe crits is for your team. I'm just kind of not too keen on it, mostly because I've seen countless medics over the seasons I've played just ruin crits and overuse it. And it's really something that should be used on a situation by situation basis. It's something that should be dependent on what team are you against and how is your team feeling that day. It shouldn't be something that you just whip out last half in a match. Actually, I take that back. If you're in the last half of a match and you're like 4-0 on a Koth map, or what is it? Is it to 4 on Koth, I guess? Yeah, you're 3-0 on a Koth map. Try switching it up. You never know if that'll work. But if you didn't pregame with the crits at all, you guys rocked the pregame and you used Uber the whole time, stick to Uber for your match. Try not to switch it up. That's not the time to use it. If you want to use crits for your match, then practice with it over the weekend. I'm going to stop talking about crits now because that's really fucking boring, and I understand this. Now, are there any questions? Because those are the basic metas of this map, the basic things. Any class-specific questions? Any questions at all from any of you guys?
I don't really have none at all.
None. Think we're good.
Good. All right. So I'm glad I was self-explanatory. If you guys think of something over the course of the weekend, if you end up having a question, go ahead and message me. All of you are welcome to add me. I'll upload this review, and yeah, as scrims go on, make sure we're recording demos so that I can look at them. I like looking at individual people playing, and I also like watching entire server demos. Servme.tf does that for you for free. Not for free. If you donate, Servme.tf will record a demo of every single scrim and match you play on a Servme server. So you might want to consider that if you have $5 and you want a server for 3 months that will always be reliable. But yeah, make sure you have those demos so that I can look at them. That's pretty much it.